We're going to spend, just as a heads up, I'm hoping we have a couple non-Homestucks in the room because we're going to spend the first half going spoiler-free. Don't ruin any major plot lines, don't ruin any major deaths. We kind of want to talk about what makes the fandom great. Without spoilers, halfway through I'm going to give everyone a warning. If you don't want to be spoiled, get out, because we're going to talk about everything else about the fandom, which includes spoilers, including theories and everything else.
Yeah, like really cool things like Cascade.
Cascade's awesome, yeah. Alright, so, first off, can you guys hear okay back there? Yeah. Alright, first off, I did give the panelists some homework. I asked them if they could summarize Homestuck in 100 words or less. And I can do it in 15, so let's see how you guys can do.
I probably can't do that.
All right, Desi wants to go first. Oh wait, actually first, let's go through the panel, introduce yourself.
Oh, sure.
Just say a couple words about yourself, I don't care.
Hi.
If you don't want to, you don't have to.
I'm not cool enough for this shit.
Hello, my name is Ashley and I'm an embarrassment.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi, I cosplay Carcat so I can scream. I am also an embarrassment to myself. I'm not even dressed as someone from Homestuck, so.
Do you have a reason? Tell them when you started reading MS Paint Adventures again.
Oh, you're old.
Yeah, because you've been here forever.
Well, Problem Sleuth is still
Yeah, and if I remember right, you suggested something that made it in Problem Sleuth? Yeah, that's why you're here. And, we've got Desi left.
Yes, I am the very young one. I'm Desi.
Oh yeah, names, right.
Yeah.
Marin.
That's Marin. And I'm Erin. I'm one of the admins on Homestuck MN. I run Spurb Live. If you go to a Homestuck photo shoot, I scream at you for an hour. I love introduction. If you really want to do a better introduction, that's fine.
Hello. I'm Ashley. Okay, I used to run the Homestuck photo shoots, but then I decided I didn't want to do that. Thank God for Erin. I run Panelstuck. Panelstuck 1.0 was actually the first ever Homestuck panel, by the way. Fan run. And then 5.0 is this year, so we do this a lot. I don't know. I know a lot of cool people. I'm not cool.
No, you are.
Bullshit. Yeah.
You're bullshit.
Okay.
Can we swear? Is this allowed? Or do you have like the two fuck rule in your house?
You just
I
can see that there's a younger audience member like right within direct eye
let's keep it
contact
fairly clean if we
Parents
can.
of audience member, are you okay with swearing?
No, okay, let's just keep going.
heard worse. I'm
Alright.
yeah.
Okay, but I really want to see how these guys did. So, Homestuck in 100 words or less. Let's start, Marin?
Okay. Basically, a group of friends play a video game and they have to deal with the consequences.
4 kids, they want to play a game, it ends the world and creates new universes, and we come into contact with the people that created our universe, which just so happened to be another set of awkward teenagers.
Man, that's like almost a carbon copy of mine.
Really? Because I thought of that one myself.
Okay, Homestuck. 4 kids play a game that destroys the universe while simultaneously creating a new one. Along the way, they meet 12 other alien children who also played the same exact game, and a bunch of crap happens. Is that under 100 words?
That was.
Everything happens so much.
This happened to me.
Okay.
Do you have an audience? If you guys think you can do better, talk to me after we let the panelists go.
That person's dressed like Canker. I don't think we should let them talk.
It is still 100 words less. Is that your summary?
Oh, I was just gonna do the cop-out kids and fun.
Okay, because I was gonna do it. It's got far off places, daring sword fights, magic spells, a prince in disguise. That's my favorite way to describe all of my favorite books. Alright, I had at least one volunteer to try it out.
I have under 10 words.
Great.
Guy plays a computer game and shit goes down.
Oh, Desi wants to try.
No, I seriously got this.
Okay, but come on up. What do we make a line over here to the right?
I'm in trouble.
I can beat this one.
Oh no.
Shenanigans.
You go, Cheesy.
Okay.
Sorry.
Don't kill you two.
4 kids play a game and screw up the universe.
Yep. Pretty much. Good job.
Alright, come on up, Rose.
Okay. Oh, you're cute.
Aw, thanks. Okay. This is actually kind of from a song. I did not write this, so
It's about 4 kids who play a game and nothing will ever be the same. There's time travel, shenanigans, crazy plots and aliens. They're trying to save the universe, but not if the bad guys get there first. You're gonna need a whole lot of love in the crazy world of Homestuck.
I just wanted to point out the reason I want to do this is that a lot of times people get really overwhelmed by Homestuck, and it's not as scary as it seems. It is, you know, it is long, but
yeah, it's scarier than it seems.
The internet.
Well, okay, what I've heard a lot of is people who jump into trying to explain everything. It's like controls and this and that and the other thing.
Or people that skip to Act 5.
Or
yeah, don't do that.
Don't skip the intermission.
Yeah, don't skip the intermission. Or I'll first find you, hunt you down, and scalp you.
My sister got to Act 4 without knowing that you could click and words would come down.
Lots of people did that. I know Dante Bosco did that for a good while there. That's not who I was.
All of Act 1. Very confusing.
My sister wanted to skip the intermission, and I was like, no, you're reading it, deal.
Right, and
It's like the best.
right. I mean, and yeah, the thing with the intermission is it gets confusing, but just roll with it. I think the best, some of the best I ever got advice I ever got for reading hard stuff was just say cuckoo cuckoo man and keep going.
Yeah.
Don't think too hard.
Just keep swimming.
Like, you know, I started Homestuck when it started, so none of you can complain about the wait.
That would be another kind of fandom thing that people outside fandom know a lot about. Sometimes Hussey takes a break, and we wait for updates. It's been what?
A week.
It's a week today.
It's funny because he broke his 6-month hiatus like 2 months in.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Oh, well, he didn't say 6 months. He just said months.
He said months and months.
He said
Yeah,
months.
but she
and
did
months.
wait 2 months.
He waited multiple months. And I think he waited months, right? Anything anyone wants to say about hiatuses?
They're not that bad. They're actually a great chance to explore the fandom and the other parts of the medium that happen. Like, I don't know if people check out fan music, fan projects. We have there's the MSPA fan comic page. They have beautiful fan adventures. There's some really good ones out there that are really long and time consuming that you might not have time to read if you were busy catching up. Or the hiatuses are another great time to like actually get a friend into Homestuck because you're like, hey, it's not updating right now. You can read those thousands and thousands of pages.
How many pages is it up to now?
I did.
I'll check.
6,800.
You have time to reread. If you feel you're confused, you can reread, or you can go and read Problem Sleuth, which I highly recommend.
Oh yeah, everyone do that.
Yes,
I've never reread Homestuck.
I've reread it like 3 times because I get bored and I have nothing to do.
Yeah, the only time I ever made it past like I think I got into Act 4 once, and then Let's Read Homestuck happened.
Raise your hand if you guys have actually reread Homestuck all the way through since you read it the first time. See, that's a good amount, actually.
Look at all these people who are better than me.
Basically, Carcat's life.
Good job, Carly.
Oh hey, and also hiatuses if you're in the fandom and if Homestuck is all you do, like a lot of you did during the last hiatus, getting into other fandoms and spreading, because for some of the younger fans that are say 13 years old, it might be their first like actual legit fandom, and it helps them like realize that there's like Tumblr, there's ways to communicate with other fans. I heard a tumble back there.
How can you hear a tumble?
Somebody just clapped, so I figure they are a tumble. I did grammar. Nobody should expect me to know how to words. But yeah, it's teaching the younger fans how to fandom. This was my first big, large fandom, except for Invader Zim, but I wasn't fan.
Everyone has those black days.
and everyone has their first fandom, and it's always a time.
So who went through the weeb phase?
That's everyone in this room. Yeah. If you don't raise your hand, you're secretly lying. If you did not have a weeb phase.
Yep.
And especially if you have like electronic proof of it, like DeviantArt
I
and
have
LiveJournal.
electronic proof of like my weird Invader Zim days.
And for the record, the current page is 8,223.
But doesn't it start on like 2,000 or something?
Right, Homestuck started about 2,000 pages in.
Jailbreak, Bard Quest, and Problem Sleuth. Read Jailbreak. It is freaking fantastic.
Oh yeah, the ending's actually really good.
I know.
Actually, I'd recommend reading Andrew Hesse's other work too, like Whistles and It Don't Stop. Because there's quite a few references.
I recommend watching his Star Trek videos. They're actually really funny. Yes, he like makes music videos with Star Trek. It's fucking hilarious.
Awesome. Yeah,
the more you know.
Like Marin said, I would highly recommend And It Just Don't Stop. It was earlier work that Hussey did. It's beautiful. It's about like robot rap battles. No, it is like
desktop wallpaper.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. It's a great comic that you did, and it's like everyone who ever says Hussey can't draw, look at the art in Homestuck. No, go read And It Just Don't Stop. It's like, whoa.
It's Huss Nasty style, it's called.
Yeah.
See, what people overlook is the amount of planning, and really, you can especially appreciate.
I have something against that.
If it's graphic design. Okay, no, but I mean, like, there's like crazy, weird stuff. It's like a lot of it's like on the spot, but then it like because it's meticulous, weird, freaking like GPI's Lotus Flower. It's basically that. That's Homestuck.
Yeah. Actually,
okay, story time.
Story time, everyone.
Andrew doesn't remember what his own characters look like most of the time. So here's a story that two of my friends told me. They're actually two of the Homestuck artists that did calendar art. They go to school at MCAD, and yeah, Laura and Chad. So they were over. They had dinner with him, and they're like, okay, here's your one free drawing. He pulls out a napkin, and they're like, okay, what do you want me to draw? And then they're like, draw AR, you know, the caution tape one, the original. And he just like sits there and is like, which one is that? And then they're like, they sit there and they're just like, oh, okay, the one with the caution tape, oh, okay. So he starts drawing and he's like, does he have one or two eyes? And then Chad and Laura just like, one eye, because, well, they're like, well, our headcanon is that he lost the other one in a fight. I don't think that actually. And then so the teacher was like, they're like, oh no, some of the cautions kind of rubbed off because of his hardship, and he's just like, fuck, no wonder I killed this guy.
No, but
it's okay.
Especially if you are a creative type, or especially a graphic designer, you can really appreciate the sprites and all of the weird little animations. Oh, like it's like a lot of the pages are actually like little GIFs, and even the slightest little movements. Hussey said in one of the books, like Rose just kicking a box into like a cabinet. Yeah. What was it? He said, he's like, that is the most adorable thing, and I'm sad that I can't convey it in the book. And just the little animations make it so much better. So if you don't have like anything that supports GIFs, it sucks.
And I think like Homestuck in general too influenced a lot of different web media to incorporate music into it as well. Like one of my friends, he does a lot of music for Homestuck as well, and he basically kind of he got his career based off of that, like because of all of that music that he was able to create.
Actually wants to know who.
Oh,
yes.
Plasma Taz?
Oh, yeah. Oh!
Clark Powell, yeah. So, I don't know, I think it's pretty great. Like he has his own albums out, and he just told me that recently he got independent job, like a contracting job too, through like all of his music work. So, you know, I think especially for all the creative people who are a part of Homestuck, like that really helps their careers out too.
Also with the fan music,
who comes here to Detour as Carcat, she graduated from MCAT. She did the fairy cover art. That was pretty cool.
That was cute.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, like it's really easy to get like involved in stuff if you make the right connections and talk to people, and like you be like, look at this awesome stuff I do. You'll get noticed. It's true. I mean, they do actually ask artists to do calendar art. It's not like they're just like you. Usually it's people they know and trust and have worked with before. So it's harder to get into now, but it's still possible if you try really hard.
I know in Plasma Taz's case, though, for the music, the first thing he did was the wind chime noise when John first steps out of his house. So.
How come we all know that's everyone's favorite musical piece?
Yeah, entire thing.
Oh yeah, it's not Black at all. No.
Oh, in speaking...
Black was everyone's favorite at one point or another.
True fact.
Still is.
Yeah.
No, 3 in the morning, RJ's I Can Barely Sleep in This Casino remix.
No, and it evolves and changes, and do you guys want to go through, does anyone have a favorite piece of music? I know I do.
Descend. Adventure. Moonsetter.
Moonsetter, yes, that was what I was going to say.
I loved all of the, like, Sunslammer, Sunsetter, Moonsetter, all of it was, like, I loved those, and I was, like, really excited when I finally listened to The Last Frontier, and it had part of it in there, and I was like, oh, it's my ringtone forever.
No, come on, guys. It's totally Carcat's theme, the most obnoxious song ever produced for the comic.
How many of you guys have actually set ringtones on your phone that are Homestuck themed?
I tried.
If you can.
Suburban Jungle and go down the line.
When you guys text me, it's Kesha saying, but I'm already here.
3 in the morning is my alarm to get up.
Mine is the TARDIS noise, so, you know, we can just trade.
Okay, but in speaking of creativeness, see, with, he leaves the characters to interpretation. He keeps them quite simple, except for some of like their alternate outfits. He keeps them quite simple and open to people's headcanons and interpretations, especially with the humans being literally white, no skin color. So anybody can cosplay them, and you're not going to have those stupid people saying, oh, you're black, you can't cosplay. Oh, you're white, you can't cosplay them. Which is...
Yeah, those people still exist.
They're like, oh, you're black, you can't be Jade. What the hell?
And it makes a lot of sense.
You're not great, you can't cosplay Carcat.
You're right. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, they're and it makes sense.
It's like, everything is very...
I know, right? Yeah.
It's like everything is very open-ended, and it's like with the characters with long and short hair or whatever, it's like the trolls all obviously have black hair, but you can like have Carcat with curly hair, straight hair. You can have like Vriska with curly hair or straight hair. You can have all these different styles, and it's just very fandom friendly.
And it makes the cosplay photo shoot so interesting.
Yeah, and you have variety because you have different people's interpretations and different people's spins, and there's no canon voices, so you can think of your own voices. It's just, all of it is just very fandom friendly, and I can see why anybody would be crazy about this fandom.
Yeah, go ahead.
Doesn't stop people from having really stupid arguments about really stupid things.
Exactly.
Well, that happens everywhere, though. I mean, you can like go to pub and argue with a person over apples if you wanted to, hard enough.
That has almost happened to me.
Okay, I mean, just so people know, if you have a comment or question, raise your hand. I'll do my best to call on you. I'm gonna let the panelists do a lot of the talking, but yeah. They clearly don't want to, so you know, raise your hand if you have things to say. Something I know I want to touch on is, and we did touch on it, and I kind of just wanted to draw attention on exactly, is how Homestuck doesn't actually fall in any single
genre?
Not only any single genre, but any single medium. You know, there's animation and there's music and there's the games and all of that. I think that's
like, I remember when I was playing like John Enter Village, and it's like you're sitting there and you're like, holy crap, I'm playing the comic. Look at me go! I can walk here and look at this mushroom if I really want to. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I was like, not only is this a comic, but all of a sudden things are moving. That ship just blasted off with WV in it, and I was like, whoa! And there's music, and I just was like, this isn't a comic anymore.
And if you go back and replay those things, you'll find things that you didn't before. It's like you click on random things, you read things, and that's the fun of rereading. You catch things you never caught before, and crazy foreshadowing that wasn't even planned. Actually.
I know. No, and I love it when it's something that you know that Hussey didn't plan, but he brings back anyway.
No, but there's crazy amount of plannings, like with the hex codes and like just random stuff. It's really insane.
Probably not planning, honestly.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's planning so much as adapting what's already there.
Yeah, accidental success.
You know,
Exactly.
Like, chum handles and stuff with the.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hussey's playing with a lot of kind of epic themes in a modern context. It's one of my favorite things for describing what Homestuck is it's an epic in a modern context.
You know what I really liked about being a younger fan? I think I started when I was about 13. I'm almost 16 now. Okay, so I basically kind of got to grow up with the characters a little bit because they started when they were 13 and they're almost about 16 now, and I feel like as they're growing and changing, I am too, and I realize, and just like them, they're just like us. It's like whether troll or not, we're all ridiculous teenagers.
Oh my gosh.
And as you grow older,
no, hang on, we need to repeat that.
Kind of like with Toy Story, if any of you are my age.
I cried a lot.
There's always the opposite end though, like when you start when you're like 20 and then you're like 22, 23, 27, you're like, how long can I, they're like, how long can I keep cosplaying 13-year-old boys before someone catches on?
And I'll show my age a little since we're talking about it anyway. For me it was Harry Potter. When I started I was a year younger than Harry for the first few books, and then there's that long wait and that was a year older and it was weird.
Yeah, when the movies came out, I think, I can't remember, but I was like, maybe 5 years younger, but I did feel like I grew up with them, and so did my brother. My brother, I think, was the same age.
Don't talk to me about Harry Potter.
That would be my first fandom.
No, but like, what a lot of people don't know, talking about like ages, like here, like Minnesota has a really young fan base. So, but if you go to the East Coast, everyone is like 20 plus. The main Homestucks. Yeah, it's weird when because like I travel to a lot of cons because I'm lucky enough to sell art and make money, so I'm not just like, yeah, let's go everywhere. No, but like when you meet people, they're all like 20 years plus. Like, you know, all the big name fans are like, they're older and stuff, and it's like, what is happening? But yeah, it's like, Minnesota's really young, but it's got like a lot of like potential. Like, guys, you're just waiting for the next fandom. It's like, oh my god, we're gonna be beautiful.
It's like, really, you guys are brilliant.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I'm seeing amazing cosplays. I'm seeing like super nice people. That we have that Minnesota nice here. Hey, sounds really awesome about the Homestucks MN. We have freaking beautiful made of meetups.
Shut up! I'm so tired.
Come on.
But I mean, going back to when you said that this is like a modern day epic, wouldn't it be really cool if you were like, if any of you guys go to college and become like an English teacher, wouldn't it be really funny to see Homestuck on your list of curriculums?
You say that was like, it's not my plan.
I mean, like, that would be really cool though if you're running like I know that in college we have like, it was like, we have like pop culture classes and stuff like that, and we do really dumb things in said pop culture classes. But I think it'd be really weird if you took like a design class and like that, and like Homestuck was one of your required curriculum. You're like,
I have maybe in my head made up a syllabus for a serialization class, and Homestuck is definitely on it.
Oh no!
Because actually, I think it's a good thing to move on to serialization, where it updates sometimes every day and sometimes not for a while, and
sometimes multiple times a day.
Sometimes multiple times a day, and then it makes it really interesting, and I think that does contribute to how the fandom is. Successful and also.
You want to be successful in a webcomic or a series? Update regularly.
Yep. Yeah. Or irregularly, but a lot. Yeah, friend.
I just got into Homestuck when I went to my first convention, and it was right after the first game had come out, like with the
Medicon last year.
Yeah, I know. I had like run away from spoilers at some point. You were there.
I was there.
Yep. But what happened was that like I was really confused when I finally caught up with Homestuck because it updated so often. I was like, how do you guys not go insane? There's so much content. Like I wasn't used to it at all. I was like, this is a lot more like happening a lot faster than I'm used to. I'm used to like maybe like once or twice a month, and that was like always how like everything was like updated regularly was like. It was like, oh, it's like every day.
Yeah, and we all have experienced that shock of when you go to hit the next button and there is no next button, and you just sit there with horror at your screen like.
Yeah, actually, that's a good one. Let's talk about. We're gonna come back to you guys. Let's talk about what panel did you catch up on? We all know what Marin's was. All right, tell us where you caught up in Problem Sleuth.
Oh, God, that was about 4 months before it ended, so it was right around when like the Weasel King showed up and stuff, and like they were fighting Mobster Kingpin, things like that. So.
I'm gonna show off how young I am. Young I am in fandom. It was Dota, so the April Fool's Day update last year.
Oh god damn it!
So like I showed up in Hussey Proposes to Briska, and that was my catch-up point. I know. Everyone always makes that face because I jumped in really feet first or head first. So yeah. But that was me, and that was a really tough page to catch up on.
Oh yeah, when the Alpha Kids went God tier, that's when I caught up.
My sympathies.
Okay guys,
we'll come back to you, audience. If you know what, audience, if you want to come and you don't have a super loud voice, come line up over here so you can use the mic. If you want to tell us what your catch-up page was. You got a good one.
Okay, so my roommate now, Emily, had been bothering me to read it for a while. Then Laura, who's one of the Homestuck artists, had been bothering me to read it forever. And we had met in our Italia day, so I really trusted her judgment at the time. So, I was like, okay, and then I caught it. I powered through it in like a week, and I read it at work, which isn't that bad. You know, a week, I can catch up on Homestuck. I caught up on the page where Tavros died. because like I have this thing, all my favorite characters die always. I mean, come on. And and basically she's like, Ashley, no one dies in Homestuck, and I'm like, well, this is great.
Very few characters have double died.
I caught up shortly after S. Terezi flipped, so like June 2 years ago, I think. So it was right when all that scratchy stuff was happening, because we caught up at almost the same point.
I caught up at that page.
Yeah, and I was shortly after that.
The latest page.
So then I remember that my updates I was waiting for was way back with the clock tower, or not the little clock thingy with Vriska, and we didn't know if she was gonna live or die, and it was still swinging. Yeah, basically. A little kid, when was your caught up name?
Okay, I think it was the beginning of like the, you know, the felt thing where everything was green. Not the intermission, but you know where it was like the Dr. Scratch's apartment.
Yeah,
it was like near the beginning of that.
We have some people.
Yeah, hopefully you guys have good stories. Try and keep it brief. I see one of you with a red sweater on, and it makes me nervous.
100 words or less. Okay, my catch-up page was the update right after Caliborn, like going insane and like chewing up his leg and stuff. That flash, that was my catch-up, and I'm like, that's it. Crap! Now I understand why everyone's upset.
During Anime Iowa, I remember watching that on my phone.
How did you get to play on your phone?
I would first like to say that I found that comment offensive. I caught up, I knew I was catching up when I suddenly saw Jane engage trickster mode. And I ended with Jake throwing a pumpkin on Roxy's head.
That's a good update.
I caught up right about with Calliope's reveal.
Such a place to catch up.
I caught up in the hiatus.
The big one.
Which big one?
This recent one.
Oh, that's not the big one.
The big one is
Cascade is the biggest one.
Oh, I did. I caught up during a hiatus. There were 2 weeks between that update I caught up on and the next update.
I don't know.
No. I caught up right when Jade combined the 2 Jujus.
Gosh, the whole trickster mode, yeah.
I'm waiting for someone in this line to have Cascade be their update page.
Shit, that was me.
I'm kind of new, so I finally caught up. It's kind of ironic, but I caught up on April 14th.
Nice. Just in time for a nice break.
Proud of you. Yeah. Oh, you're cute.
I caught up when Doc Scratch was retelling the end of Act 5 after he referenced Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff.
Proud of that.
Those hot men.
I caught up in the Trillian standoff just after Gamzee like did all his stuff, you know? That was the most nerve-wracking thing to wait for, because they were just all standing there looking at each other. They're just like, I need more.
Scream cry fits over that.
I caught up right when I don't necessarily know what the page was called, but it was when Jake was fighting Dirk's robot.
Hard rise up.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for some more trauma in the line, guys.
I caught up right when John opened his eye, when there's that like one panel where he was like, just his eye was opening when he was to fight Jack. But
I know what you're talking about.
But my boyfriend actually had been reading it for years, so he caught up. This is like minor spoilers. When Dave threw his own body out a window. That was his catch-up page.
All right, pass it on down. Sis.
I caught up right before the last hiatus when all the kids landed in front of John on a rock. I was so excited to be part of the like daily update stuff, and then right when I get there, it stops. Whatever.
It's okay, you're back there again. Don't worry.
Okay, my catch-up page is probably when that one part where like Karkat comes up to Terezi while she has that hood over her head and he calls her beautiful. It was like, oh, it's so cute.
You love me.
Oh, dang.
Ken Terezi.
Yeah, go ahead.
I caught up right when Spade Slick and Miss Paint became canon.
Tulip Slick Paint. It's a thing. Slick Paint, it's for pool tables.
Damn it, Hussy!
You'll be saying that a lot. Damn it, Hussy. Hey, Slick.
Okay, go ahead.
So mine's kind of a horror story. When I was first introduced into Homestuck, my friends told me to skip to Act 5. No, just listen. So I started at Act 5, and I ended up when Aridin was just being introduced. So then I went back and read it all, and then I got to the same page again. So.
Gold star. Gold star. You didn't try using
The time has come. I caught up at Cascade. It just blew my mind. And then there wasn't the next, but I got really sad.
Okay, well, we'll take these last three, then apparently we have some good Cascade stories.
I don't have a Homestuck catch-up page. I started with Problem Sleuth too. The page, this fucking pumpkin.
I caught up right when Aridin was about to kill the fairy.
That must have been nerve-wracking.
I remember laughing at those entire stream updates.
Thank you for being a terrible person.
It's okay,
I caught up at See Your Descent.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
I like
one more.
That's a good one.
I got caught up at the end of hiatus with Homestuck.
Okay, so apparently we have some good Cascade stories and background, if you would, going into that.
Okay, so before Cascade came out, there was a Homestuck club at MCAD, and I would go. I don't go to MCAD, by the way. I think, yeah.
I went once.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even go either.
What is MCAD?
Minneapolis College of Art and Design.
Okay.
Homestuck is particularly popular at art schools, from my experience.
There's a lot of creativity going in there. And so I would go there, and I remember just like watching Chad and Laura sitting there being like, what do you think's gonna happen to Cascade?
Oh no.
And I'm like, you fucking know. So it turns out Chad was actually one of the artists helped work on it. Their username is Woanon on Tumblr and stuff. So afterwards, I was like, okay, so I went to sleep when Cascade was coming out, and then all of a sudden it happened, and I got Skype called in to my friends, and then all of a sudden I watched Chad's reaction video. And so Chad was like a very big in the intermission fandom, so they drew the AR pictures, they drew him dragging PM, I think it was, yeah. And then also drew a box, this AR holding a box. So Andrew basically what he did after he got the pictures was he completely like reformatted all of it and like drew everything, so Chad just made a bunch of AR sprites, and AR's the favorite character and everything. And so basically what happened was Chad was watching the video, and Andrew Hussey killed their favorite character with their own art.
I'm pretty sure that's the best Cascade story. I don't think I can top killing your favorite character with their own art.
I'd love to hear it.
Well, I wasn't really, I just got into Tumblr and didn't really know there was this huge fandom in Minnesota.
Oh shit.
So my sister wasn't caught up yet. I was waiting, I was still in high school, waiting up 2 o'clock in the morning. Is it gonna come up? It came out! I can't get to it! Ah! So I go to school and I'm watching Cascade, trying not to cry as my friends are watching me. I'm like, what's wrong with you, Nikki? I'm like, I can't. I had to wait between periods to finish it. Oh, no. This when Jade died, and I cut off, and it's like,
I remember
it's true. It was heartbreaking.
when Cascade came out, I was in college. Obviously, I still am. And it was like a big event. A bunch of my college friends were all talking about what was going to happen. We all had our theories, and one of my friends like, oh, well, something big's going to happen with Jade. I'm like, yeah, probably. And we're all talking about it, and he pretty much guessed it all, and I was like, you suck. But my RP team, we were sitting here, we were RPing, and then all of a sudden, I keep refreshing Homestuck every second.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I got in, and then I got partway in, and then it crashed on me. My friend that was in the RP, she got in, and it crashed halfway through the flash. So we're all sitting here freaking out, and then we ended up getting in a live stream of like a live stream.
Yep, me too. Live stream.
And then we watched it that way. And then Hussey released the download for like a limited time only. He had the download available for a couple like hours. So I have it downloaded on my computer. Sweet. But I was sitting in my room with like popcorn, wearing like my Carcat horns because I was alone in a dorm room. And I'm ready. And it was like 3 hours later by the time it finally came out.
I had like my friends calling me repetitively because I like sleep. So it's like,
I think I
like thought about
Boy, do I have a
I woke up,
story.
downloaded it, watched it, and went back to sleep.
There was a power outage at my house, and also, so that also means, and also no phone service. There, lots of issues were happening. So no internet, no phone service, no power, and so eventually I ended up trying to watch it on my phone. Then I'm like, crap, there's no service. Then I went to the library to watch it. Then I'm like, shit, we're gonna crash Newgrounds. And
what library do you have that's open at 3 in the morning?
No, it was later. It was later. Oh my god, I wasn't even. I don't know. I was probably doing something, but no. Power outage. I was probably sleeping.
See, Homestuck broke your town.
Yeah.
Minneapolis.
Hey, there's a person way back there that has a story.
Yeah. Okay, so my Cascade story was like, I had just gotten my sister into Homestuck, and she is a really fast reader, so she caught up right away. So we were trying to get Cascade. It was like 3 in the morning, and our internet is way terrible at our house sometimes. So we were trying to get it, and of course we couldn't get in, but eventually I was able to get it downloaded, but it wouldn't download until the morning after.
Oh no!
So we were like sitting, I was sitting up, and I think Vivian was probably sleeping. So I was sitting up waiting for this thing to download, and it was like 7 in the morning, and I was like, I have to get ready for school. So then I take my laptop with me, and I watch it right before like first period, and it was just bad.
Hey, can I do a random thing break from Cascade real quick? I want to know who's your, raise your hand if you like the trolls or the humans. So, if the humans are like your favorite characters, raise your hand. Some people really prefer one over the other, and then how many people are troll fans? I'm gonna get to carapaces. Sit your butt back down.
Oh, wait. I reversed mine. You have to add someone.
Oh, and I guess Cherub.
Yeah! He's such a babe.
And then how many people are Carapace fans, where those are their favorite people? You guys are all...
I like
Leprechauns don't count. Leprechauns so count.
Okay, leprechauns count. Wait, no, elves don't count.
Elves count. I like elves.
Okay, we can go back to Cascade. Okay, I just want to know how many people.
And I do want to stop just for a sec and say that we're at 7:39, so spoilers engage.
They already have been.
Which they have been. It was late enough. So if you don't want to be spoiled at all, now is definitely the time to leave. Yeah. Hey, not those. No, let's go with an older spoiler. Come on, something from.
His name is John Egbert.
There's actually a man behind a curtain. There you go.
He already has arms.
I got really upset when Carcat dies, like when Vriska does the alternate path and you find out that Carcat dies. I got really upset when I found out that was foreshadowed. If you pay attention to Aradia, she shows you that panel, like pages and pages and pages before it happens, and I completely forgot about it. And then it happened and I freaked out. And then I was like, wait, this already happened.
Panel tracer.
I think the funniest thing when I was reading Homestuck was before Jade was introduced, and she's being introduced like this big enigmatic character, like, oh, she's gonna be so crazy and like mystical and weird. No, she's gonna play a flute.
And the bass.
But she played the bass well.
How much time did you guys actually spend with the flute, though?
A lot of time, I'd hate to admit. I also played with Dave's turntables for way too long.
I was there for way too long. I was like, this is the greatest comic I've ever read.
James' grandpa, I just click the buttons forever, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm doing
Okay, get a couple audience comments.
My sick friend, she's like, oh, skip to this page or whatever, and it was the page where Gamzee kills people. What? I was not early on, I'm like, what is this?
Okay, and
my opinion is you haven't played with the turntables long enough until you find Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a glorious discovery. Same with when someone let me know that there's trickster flashes, and I'm like, you're kidding me.
Yeah,
so I went back and found them all.
Trickster mode in like the very first walk around game.
Yeah, no, that's always my favorite, because I'm a mod on Homestuck event, so I pay really close attention. And every time someone discovers a trickster mode, before it was a canon thing, that a trickster mode was a real thing, I loved watching that, and then it backs. That does not count.
Guys, I totally have like this crazy spoiler. It's like, okay, so you know in that new adventure by that weird orange guy, it's called like Jailbreak or something like that? Yeah, that guy, he has freaking arms. Since when did that happen?
Now I have the best spoiler. So it's called Homestuck.
No, dude, the guy?
They're not actually stuck in their
Out
homes.
of his house.
Yeah, go ahead. Say Homestuck.
Raven, go first.
Okay, so I was in 7th grade when I met my boyfriend, and he was a huge Homestuck fan, like back then, and when we were in 7th grade, and I had no idea what he was talking about. So my first experience with Homestuck was being told, yeah, there's this guy, and he throws his own dead body out a window and stares his hand for 10 minutes. So I just heard all these like amazing, crazy stories, and I go there, and it's some random guy, and I'm like, this cannot be the right webcomic.
Yeah, no, my friend.
How many people arrived at MSPA when this cannot be the right webcomic?
Wow. No, wait. I have a story, I think I'd love to talk about how we actually all got into Homestuck, because I have a great story, and my friend's in the room here. I like to say that I lost a bet.
Also for
because my friend would not read Hunger Games. So I said,
was it Maddie?
Yeah. She wouldn't read. No. She's making a face at me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She wouldn't read Hunger Games, and Hunger Games, the movie was coming out like that day, March 27th last year. Anyway, Hunger Games coming out, so I'm like, fine. She's really obsessed with Homestuck. I will read Homestuck. You read Hunger Games. She still hasn't finished Catching Fire, and I'm up here like this. So yeah, if you've got good stories, come on line up.
So when Problem Sleuth ended, I was like super depressed, and Hussey's like, oh, I'm starting another story. I was like, great. And if any of you are familiar with the beta mode of Homestuck, which is like this really creepy flash animation that he did, that was like super smooth and weird, I was like, what the hell is this? This is not mysteries and problem sleuthing. I hate this. But now I love it, so you know, whatever.
Flash took too long. Didn't do that.
It's funny because there's a person in line that has a story that's connected to how I got into Homestuck, and they're looking at me like, why?
All right, just jump the line. You guys can tell it together.
Oh no.
Okay. I already told my story.
I guess I was go first. So I actually already knew what Homestuck was before I started reading it, because I'd seen it on the internet and I had visited the thing, and of course gone, what the hell is this? This can't be right. And then I went to Detour 2 years ago, and I was at an Air Gear photo shoot, and there was a lizard crying over a dead John. And I took a picture of it because it was pretty awesome.
So that's really funny, because that was the update. John died the first time, so we ran the fuck around looking for Emily to find a red piece of fabric to tape to her. She was in the boxers, John, at Detour, and she's just like, I've worn this costume to 3 Detours in a row. She's probably gonna wear it tomorrow too.
But yeah, anyway, I got into Homestuck because I saw that lizard. I looked it up, and I read it. And then this loser was like, hey, you gotta read this thing called Homestuck. And I'm like, maybe when I'm done listening to Vocaloid music. And then finally I decided to give it a shot. And I read like the first page, and as soon as they said Zeus smell poop lord, I was like, I am in, this is the best thing ever. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever conceived by man, and I was only 2 pages in.
If you haven't, go read the Zeus Smells comics that Andrew Hussey did before he started Homestuck. That's what it's based on. It's just people like smelling animals and going, Zeus smells.
Yeah, but they go through dangerous lengths just to get to the zoo smell.
Oh man, we got a lot of people that have stories. It's also
guys, please keep it brief. And Des, do you have a good one, or do you have a story?
Yeah, one that isn't 15 hours long.
Yeah. My friends online, that's basically where I only had friends. You guys, I love you. You help me make friends. You're helping me be not depressed, and I'm being social. I love you.
Story, brief.
Yes, it's happening.
Okay, I'll break out my forum voice and just yell canny.
Yes, my friends Max and Spammy, they kept like sending me these weird little icons of DeviantArt, like Terrazy Please and stuff, and I was like, what are these weird little things? And then at first he told me it was Homestuck, and I'm like, that's a common misconception, by the way. Don't call it Homestuck.
It's obviously Hamstruck.
It's
Homestuck. Everyone knows that. Homestuck.
It's Homestuck.
Now it's canonical.
Yeah, so I started reading.
So this story is really great and short.
Okay, let's move on. Cannon, go ahead.
Okay, so I first got into this because my friends were cosplaying stuff and they wouldn't they wouldn't shut up about it. So I'm like, okay, what is this? And I'm like, I want to understand what you guys are talking about. So I'm like, okay, Jenna, what's the link? And she gives me the link. I'm like, okay. Are you sure this is right? Jenna, am I wrong? Are you sure? Where's this kid's arms? I really don't like this art. What is this? And of course, I read through half of the first act on my iPod without knowing that there were pester chunks. That was fun! Why is there a bathtub on the roof?
I am back! I kind of want to know, how many people didn't know there were pastor logs when you first started? Like, you didn't know to click on them?
I have an excuse!
No, wait, Maddie, did I know that or not?
I think I told you.
I think you told me eventually. That was what I thought it was, yeah.
Well, I have this internet friend, and she kept telling me about this thing called Homestuck. So she's like, go read this, it's amazing. And then she told me all these stories. And so I'm like, ooh, this sounds interesting. So I click on it, I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, why does he have arms? And then at first I thought his fake arms were his real arms, and all that stuff happened. And then I'm like, I didn't even notice the pester chunk things, and so, or pester logs, and so I'm like, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then I finally figure out that there's words, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah, not that I don't want to hear everyone freaking out about John not having arms and stuff, but if you're repeating the same story, guys, don't want to bore everyone else. Just saying.
Yeah, and then I thought, I have one more thing. And then I thought, I'm never going to get into this, and now I'm here.
Yep. Just saying, before we continue, raise your hand if you've converted others.
Siblings.
Yeah, you got me by proxy. You got me by lizard.
Okay, so there were some classmates in my advisory, and one of whom was my mentor, and she's right over there as female Eridan. But basically, I would sometimes hear their conversations while I was working. So I'm doing math, and I hear blah 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 blah. Carcat's blood color is red. Blah blah blah. Gamsey did this. Gamsey did that.
Spoilers are on.
But for the most part, blah 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 blah. Eridan. So my friend just she's like, oh, there's this thing called Homestuck. I'm like, Homestuck? What's this? Oh, it's this great webcomic. I'm like, darling, you know I can't really read that well. She's like, shh, there is a video thing that you can watch. I'm just like, okay. So she sends it to me. I'm like, start watching a few pages of it. Where the fuck is his arms? I start panicking, just like, okay, why? Where's his arms? I'm like, okay, fine, this is cool, and I still haven't finished it.
Are you using Let's Read Homestuck? Those are good things. That's how I reread last time. I just turned it on and kept working.
My friend Taylor, she told me on Skype, read this. Why? Are you trolling me again? I did not mean that.
I believe we're trolling you now.
She just said, read this. So I started reading it, and all of a sudden my friend Randy, he came and he's like, what you reading? Homestuck. Well, we'll never get into that. But I told him, I got you into My Little Pony, Harry Potter, and a bunch of other fandoms. I'm going to turn you into this too. I can get anyone into any fandom.
Okay.
And now he reads it.
We have 5 minutes left, so if you can't tell your story in about 30 seconds, sit back down. I'm sorry, guys. I would do 3 hours of panel if I could, but
I was the only person I knew who knew of Homestuck, so I completely forgot how I actually got into it, but I got into it immediately, got her addicted to it. My sister got my other sister addicted to it through the means of a bet, and shenanigans, and they were happening.
Okay, next up. Go, quick. quick. Yeah.
Okay,
I cheat each other, guys.
I actually first heard about Homestuck from somewhere else. What happened was I was at an anime party at a library, and quiz question came up, showed first panel. It said, what is this guy's name, John Egbert or Zuzmel Pooplord? I was the only person who chose the second one, and I was out immediately, but I decided to check it out much later when my sister badgered me.
Well, my internet friend Emily, she said she'd give me $10 if I read it, so I started reading it, and a month later she gave me the $10 with a note and said, oh, I can't remember.
Was it a fatherly note?
No.
I'm so
No, she missed out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
She said, thank you. She said, here is the $10. I am proud of you.
Nice.
Okay, so this is the story of how I converted my sister and stuff. I'd been bugging her about Homestuck for like 3 months. And then I was like, okay, you just have to watch Octo Pimps Don't Read a webcomic called Homestuck. And after she did it, she's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna give this a try.
And then I saw Nick Cage and I didn't want to read it anymore.
No, Nick Cage is great.
I got into Homestuck from the hate I saw on Tumblr about it, talking about how horrible and indecent the fandom was, and so I ended up looking at it, but I got really confused, so I stopped. But then I went to Anime Club, and I met this one girl who became one of my best friends, and she got me addicted to it. Like a week later, I was 2x in, and it was just beautiful.
Just saying, who else got in because of hate? Because that's actually really interesting. I'll leave it.
Nice. Okay, we've got literally 2 minutes left, guys, so we're not gonna get through you.
Okay.
Like, okay.
5 seconds.
I'm gonna think of 3 numbers between 1 and
No, that takes 2
20.
months.
Go.
The first 3 people are the last ones in.
Okay, first 3 people. Everyone else sit down. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I cannot get you all at once. Oh well. Okay.
You can tell us later.
Yeah, I would love to hear your story. Go for it. Send over and let me tell you about Homestuck.
Sam Bolu, a lot of you probably know her. She and Paige kept making references to Homestuck, and I'm just like, oh my god, please stop, you're annoying the crap out of me. And then I finally gave in, and I'm like, okay, I'll let you read it and such. And she's like, let's do the Let's Reads on YouTube. And I'm like, okay. So, but she was impatient about it, and she made me skip around and around and around until I found the trolls, and then she kept skipping and skipping and skipping. So I had to go back and reread all of it, and I'm like, too many big words.
But yeah, guys, you can just hand the microphone to each other. I don't want to hurt it.
Have freaking.
Okay, yeah, I know. We had 3 spades in a room. Can we get 2 more so we can have a flush? No.
That was a joke.
That was a joke.
There wasn't
Okay,
one
so
somewhere.
last year
I see you. I know. We need 1 more. Go.
Last year at my high school, we had something called Senior Slave Day, in which one of the underclassmen could buy a senior on their last day of school and make them dress however they wanted. One of my friends bought a senior and made them dress as Aridin while they were dancing, and everyone else, all the other friends came as all the other trolls, but the Solix was sick that day, so I was recruited to be the Solix, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I don't know why everyone is wearing gray paint, and so everything they started saying was funny, and so I'm like, you know what? I could get into this, and then I just started reading Homestuck from there.
I like that. Nice, that's a good one. That's a good one. Very good one. I know, I'm sure all of you guys have great stories too. I wish we could have spent more time on it.
I got into Homestuck because my friends at my last school would always talk about it all the time and how Calliope was such a sweetie, and my friend Eli came into school one day dressed as God-tier Strider, and I was like, wow, you look sexy. He's like, yeah, it's Homestuck, and I knew I was addicted when I started crying when Aridin died. I was just like, no!
Wait, who else? Who has cried because of Homestuck? Raise your hand. Who has cried? Sobbing,
Okay, does it count if I cried when I saw when I figured out the God-tier Jake design? Is that okay? Then I cried.
And then
Dude, I knew I was making that. I knew I was making that. Okay, all right, we were out of time, guys. Thank you so